Alrighty, hey everyone, and good Friday morning to you. After a soggy night across the valley, especially in southern parts of our viewing area, our attention today now turns to the wind, the potential for a couple of thunderstorms, and rapidly falling temperatures as we get into the afternoon hours today. First things first, the heaviest of the rain overnight was in areas south of Route 30 primarily, and that's why a flood advisory is out for a couple of hours this morning down towards East Liverpool, Calcutta, Glenmore area. And certainly the flooding has been quite a bit worse, even south of there and closer to I-70 this morning, down across the Dayton to Columbus to Cambridge area, right along I-70. Lots of flood warnings out this morning, but that batch of heavy rain continues to push off to the east. Let's take a little bit of a closer look at our local radar here. That heavier rain that we had this morning is now pushing across I-80, Clarion, Brookville, heading over towards DuBois. And for the rest of the morning, we're in kind of a break in the action, it looks like, with not a lot going on. Let me plot up the temperatures. And as you can see, it is mild this morning. We're in the lower 60s. It is balmy, but just off to our north and west. Northern Indiana's falling into the 30s. Chicago's in the 30s. There's even some snow falling across the UP of Michigan this morning. And of course, this is the colder air that's coming our way as we go into the afternoon today. Let's time out additional showers today with our high-res futurecast. Again, not a lot of rain for the rest of the morning. A couple of showers around for the next couple of hours. Now, as our cold front moves through the state this afternoon, the atmosphere ahead of it is going to be a little bit unstable, and we've certainly got a ton of wind energy in the atmosphere today. So as this front encounters that sort of environment, right around 1 to 2 p.m., I'm expecting some showers to initialize once again, and there could be some thunder embedded within this. Now, this doesn't look like much, right? But this is a skinny band of showers, possible thunder as well. And this is also when we have to be on the lookout for the potential for severe weather today. And what we mean by severe weather today is mostly strong winds. It's going to be windy independent of any showers and storms today, but especially in these cells that pop up early in the afternoon today, there could be some pretty strong winds out there, and temperatures will start falling after reaching the upper 60s by 2 p.m. as that front sags into the area from northwest to southeast. Temperatures will tumble out of the 60s into the 50s, eventually down into the 40s by about 6 o'clock this evening. The difference in how it feels outside between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. is going to be pretty enormous. And of course, the cool down continues tonight. Will eventually end up in the 20s. It's not real windy just yet this morning. I'm expecting the wind to become more of a factor over the next 3 hours. You're going to notice the wind really starting to pick up before the morning is through. And I could see where by midday and afternoon we get some gusts of 40 to perhaps even close to 50 miles per hour across the region. Again, this is independent of any rain. Anytime we have rain that could pull down some of the stronger winds from aloft, gusts could top 50 miles per hour. Now, the updated outlook from the Storm Prediction Center this morning has eastern Ohio, western PA all in the marginal or low-end risk of severe weather, kind of a 1 on a 1 to 5 scale. This has not changed since yesterday. The only real thing that's changed since yesterday, and this is good news, because while there's a lot of wind energy and there's a big difference in the speed of the wind from the ground level up, there's not a ton of wind shear in terms of directional shear today. There's not a lot of changing of wind direction as you go up through the atmosphere. And so our tornado risk, while it was very low to begin with, now appears to be even lower. They have the 2% contour here east of I-79 across Pennsylvania. So I don't want to 100% rule out an isolated spin-up tornado in any of these cells early this afternoon, but the chance is real small. It's just above zero. It's not completely zero, but it's very close to zero. So the tornado threat appears to be diminishing, but the wind threat is there, and now the ground is quite wet. With all the rain we've had over the last couple of nights, some places have had 1.5 to 2 inches worth of rain from late Wednesday evening through this morning. So that makes the root structure a little bit weaker on some trees. And if you get a gust of 50 miles per hour or so, and you've already had a couple of inches of rain in a couple of days, we could have the possibility of some weak trees coming down, power outage problems, things like that. So something to keep in mind as a lot of us are kind of shut in these days. You may be without power here and there, especially later on this morning into this afternoon. Well, you know we have you covered with the latest updates on the Storm Tracker 21 app, wfmj.com/weather. Meteorologist Andrew DePaulo is in the studio. I'm here at home. I'll see you this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11.